Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Green Wombat, and in this video, I will talk about or discuss about electric vehicle. I think it's been years since the last time I create a video or a discussion in English, so I think bear with me. My English is a little bit rushed, so yeah, hope you can understand every single thing that came out from my mouth. In the recent years, so yeah, lately in the recent years, a lot of manufacturers trying to create or move from internal combustion engine, such as like a petrol or a diesel engine, to electric vehicle, and we could find this like from the lower car price or in mid range or even a high class or the pricey one. There are tons of pros and cons about the electric vehicle itself, and yeah, let's try to discuss the pro first, the one that we can agree with, or the upside from the electric vehicle. The first one, electric vehicle has less carbon emission than the internal combustion engine, if only, okay, if only it had two rotors or less. So especially in our country, in my country, Indonesia, where we get our electricity from the fossil fuel, so it doesn't really make sense to use more than two rotors. But yeah, so it doesn't really fit the green energy motto. Number two, electric vehicle in general have a better center of gravity and weight distribution, so it handles a lot more stable compared to an internal combustion engine, even if the combustion engine had the mid-engine configuration. Okay, so yeah, it runs very smooth, it runs very quick. So yeah, that's the second upside. Then the third upside, in general, running cost of the electric vehicle will be cheaper, since the cost of the electricity divided by the range will be cheaper than the cost of petrol or diesel fuel divided by the range itself. So no matter where you live, it will be a lot cheaper to use an electric vehicle car for your daily commute. And then number four, with electric vehicle, the research in battery of the component or something like the supporting component for the battery itself will be propelled. So yeah, more research or more battery being produced, it means more research about the battery itself. Therefore, we as a human being, as the leading creature on earth, will come closer to our target, such as harvesting the energy from the outside of the earth itself. So yeah. And then number five, so it's the number four thing, it sounds like a science fiction movie, but it's true. The more battery that we produce, the more research that we need, and then yeah, it will propel our level of understanding about the battery itself. And then number five, in general, electric vehicles have better performance compared to internal combustion engine, either it was in acceleration or top speed, if we tune it just right. So yeah, better center of gravity, better weight distribution, better acceleration, and then yeah, better top speed, and cheaper to run. Then number six, less maintenance, and then and the last one, I think, in several countries, electric vehicles have less taxes than the internal combustion engine. So that's the upside from the electric vehicle. Now came with the downside or the contra about the electric vehicle itself. In some countries like Indonesia, they produce electricity from a fossil fuel. Okay, so it's not really like 50-50. Like in here in Indonesia, we are relying too much to fossil fuel for our power plant, so it doesn't really make sense. So it doesn't really make sense to use the electric vehicle. It's like just change change the place where it got polluted from the road, and then send it to our power plant. That's it. Then second, the safety measure of electric vehicles should be higher and should be tighter, especially in some country like Indonesia, because even if the electric vehicle have less reason to blow up in your Once the battery got damaged or get overheated too much, because you might live in a rural area, or in the countryside or something like that, or even if you live in a desert, like a 50 degrees Celsius, and for you all American, it is 122 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so it's hot. Then probably you might being demised by a burning lithium battery that would have a higher fatality rate compared to a blown or a total engine from the internal combustion engine. So yeah, even though it has less reason to have failure, like it's just a battery, a generator, etc., etc., but still the probability for you to leave or to walk out from your car is far higher in the internal combustion engine than in the electric vehicle engine if there was a failure in your system, in your car. Then number 3, that's too quiet. Just, I'll be honest, that's too quiet. Every moving cars can be that quiet. It will be a safety hazard, especially if you have a highway with 150 kilometers an hour speed limit. And for you, okay. Then number 4, for now the cost of producing the electric vehicle itself is still high. And then number 5, the electric vehicle can't really compete with the internal combustion engine in the range situation. I don't know in miles, you can count it by yourself, but a combustion engine can run like 500 to 1000 kilometers within a single full tank, while the electric vehicle 500 kilometers at top. And then number 6, in some countries it's not really feasible. Okay, it's not really feasible to get a fast charging station at home. Like Indonesia, etc., etc. And then also in some countries, it is now number 7. In some countries like Indonesia, the distribution of the charging station is not really widespread. And then number 8, even though it's a minority, I'm not saying willing, okay, I'm not saying willing, but there are some companies that doesn't have the lock of the charging mechanism or the charging compartment. So yeah, therefore you might have a wild boxing even suddenly appear out of nowhere in a charging station. So that's messed up, to be honest. Like a child trying to get another charger that the siblings held or something like that. And then number 9, if there was any damage in the battery compartment, it will cost you a lot, close to the car price itself. Of course, we are counting the second-hand car, not the new one. And then the last, in general, the facility of the support system of the electric vehicle itself is not really proper at the moment, especially in some countries, in some developed countries like Indonesia. Okay. Now, I want to discuss a little bit more about the electric vehicle. So that's the upside and the downside of the electric vehicle itself. To be honest, I'm not really a person who go against the electric vehicle itself. And in my personal experience, I researched the electric vehicle like 10 years ago while I was in college for my personal amusement, and it ended up blowing in front of my but fortunately I'm fine. So that's it. But yeah, that was my personal experience, and I don't think with the scale of the manufacturer right now, they will did such a like mine. So yeah, but of course there are some notes that we could take to properly develop the electric vehicle for the goods of the humanity itself and the earth itself, of course. In the current situation, the distribution, too much would be the same like relocating the center of the pollution from the highway to the power plant itself. So I don't think we're not there yet. So it doesn't really matter. Also, in my opinion, for the road cars, the publicity of the 2 rotors or less electric vehicles should be prioritized, since using more than 2 rotors will give you more carbon pollutant in the air and something like that. So yeah, to Earth than using the normal internal combustion engine. So yeah, you will add more pollutant to the Earth if you use more than 2 rotors. And even if you use like more greenish battery, it will develop another problem. You will have another problem for that, because the energy density of the greenish battery is not really that much. It's like 20 or 30% from the normal battery, so you will have less range, of course. And then for me personally, I don't really have much experience from driving an electric vehicle. I only use the Hyundai. I don't know how to pronounce it. Hyundai Ioniq 5. So for the measurement, in my opinion, even just an Ioniq 5 had a great performance and value for money, even for me as Indonesian. That all of you know that we have currency, but it's still a good way to commute. Therefore, I hope the support system and the facility for the electric vehicle will be much better in the near future. Of course, the safety measure will be get improvement too. So all in all, I think the electric vehicle seems to be a little bit rushed, and I hope to see a great improvement. And yeah, I'm ready to support the electric vehicle myself. I think that's it for me. But out.